One of the recommendations for teaching at a distance in the LSU document relates to the use of a Google SlideStack. And I want to show you how to use the Google SlideStacks as a tool for encouraging small group work or even collaboration outside of the classroom this term. I think you'll find it's fairly straightforward. And I have seen it used in the past in pretty effective ways. So if you haven't used slides before, what I want to show you is simply how to get there. So this video assumes you've logged into your Google account, you're at google.com, and you simply select slides. Once you come to the slide stack, I would say click on blank for a new slide presentation, and this will look very much like a PowerPoint presentation to you. Now, as opposed to the Google Documents, using a slide stack takes a little bit more work from you before the class engages with the document. Typically, the recommendation is to think about the slide stack, or we might use the phrase PowerPoint presentation, as an opportunity to give a number of small groups a slide that they are responsible for. So I'm going to assume in this video that I'm working in a classroom that will have, let's say, 4 small groups. Okay, so I'm going to add, in addition to the first slide, I'm going to add 4 slides. So this is my opening slide. So we'll just call this activity. It could be anything that you want to do this semester. And then we have these 4 slides, and I'm just going to title these Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and then, Group 4. I think I may have hit the wrong button along the way, but if I put this back, Group 1. Okay, so now I have Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, and what I would do before sharing this with the students is I would let them know which group they're in. Okay, so these students are in Group 1, these students are in Group 2, these students are in Group 3. Then what I would do is I would share this document, and I'm just going to call it activity. I would share this document with all of the students, but I'm going to change the link first. I'm going to change it so that everybody who has the link can edit the link. This is really important. If I don't make everybody the editor, then they won't be able to write on the slide stack. Okay, so I have made everybody the editor. That part is done. And I'm just going to make sure I've copied that link. All right, so I've now copied the link. And presumably what I would do is I would have an activity where I would say to the small groups, okay, I want all of the small groups to, let's say, review as a group, the annotations that you made on these 10 pages of reading, for example, and I want your group to come up with some comments about what are the main ideas in those 10 pages of reading. So the students in Group 1 presumably would come to this slide, they'd log into it, and they would say, the main ideas, M-A-I-N, the main ideas are, and they could all collaboratively put that in, okay, to represent themselves. Group 2 could do the same thing. Group 3 could do the same thing. Group 4 could do the same thing. You could also encourage them to not simply include text, but put in a link to a video or some kind of image they could copy and paste into the slide. And once they've all done that work, then you can take the slide stack as the person who's the owner of it, and you can present it to the class, and you can have the groups just talk about what it is they contributed to each slide and why. Or you could have the groups comment on the other slides. So I could have Group 1 then look at Group 4 slide and make comments on it. Group 2 look at Group 3 and make comments on it. There's really endless possibilities, but it's just a way of organizing group comments on individual slides that could then be saved and shared by you. So it's a really good tool, I think, for a number of reasons this semester. Again, it helps us overcome the spatial challenges of not being able to group people closely together, okay, in the classroom. It also helps us cut down on talking, okay, because there will be challenges in terms of students hearing and in terms of masks being comfortable and fitting and things like that. And it's also an activity that can be done kind of locally in the classroom if you're meeting face-to-face. It can also be presumably done and completed by students who are off campus, in their dorm rooms for whatever reasons. So it's a really good tool, and I would encourage you to think about using it this fall. I will be using it this fall quite a bit.